For more on this, we are now being joined by Peter Kusnit, professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University from Washington, D.C. Peter, welcome back to WION, and thank you so much for joining us. So, Ukraine has made its move by firing these American weapons on Russian territory. How will Moscow react?
Well, we've all got our fingers crossed that Putin will not take Biden's bait. This is highly provocative. Putin has indicated very clearly this is a red line that the West should not cross, but clearly the United States has already crossed it. As you've mentioned, Putin just signed Russia's new nuclear use doctrine, and it says that any non-nuclear power attacking Russia with the aid of a nuclear power, both will be considered part of that attack, and both are legitimate targets for Russian retaliation. Right now, the war is going very well for Russia. Russia is advancing steadily on the Eastern Front. What they want to do at the same time is claw back that limited part of Kursk that the Ukrainians took with their August invasion there. Now, we have to keep this in perspective. Russia controls 111,000 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory. The area in Kursk is 650 square kilometers. So we're talking about a vast amount of land that Russia controls inside Ukraine compared to a tiny piece of Kursk that the Ukrainians control. The Russians are intent on clawing that back. Now, what are they going to do? This is very, very troubling to all of us because on the one hand, the Americans almost all admit that this is not going to significantly impact the war. It's not going to affect the outcome. It's not going to even significantly strengthen Ukraine's position. Yet they are still risking nuclear war. As the head of the Foreign Affairs Committee, the International Affairs Committee of the Russian Duma, upper house, said this is a very big step toward the beginning of World War III. That's what we fear. All along, Biden has said he is not going to provoke Russia into World War III. He doesn't want to provoke a war between the United States and Russia. But now, in his last days, when he's almost out of office, he's given this signal to go ahead with what might just provoke that. So it makes no sense strategically or tactically, and it's very, very dangerous right now.
So why is he doing it? I mean, there are a number of theories on why President Biden decided to give the green light now. Why?
Well, on the one hand, he might think it gives some advantage after the introduction of North Korean troops into the fighting or support in Kursk. That's one factor. The other thing is that he's concerned with boxing Trump in. He thinks the more he does to put the Ukraine in a strong position, the less leverage that Donald Trump will have to reverse the policy when he comes to the White House. I'm hoping that Putin realizes that the impact of these attack-ems, even attacking inside of Russia, will be very limited, almost insignificant, and that if he waits just 2 more months, he'll be able to deal with Donald Trump, who at least in his public statements and some of his appointments is much less hawkish on Ukraine than Biden has been. So if there's any rationale, that seems to be what it is. But to risk World War III over something that's going to have almost no impact on the battlefield, it just confounds me. I'm flabbergasted at the stupidity and recklessness of the Biden administration.
Yeah, you said it, Peter. So many people are feeling that way. I was at the UN yesterday. Even European allies are now concerned behind closed doors. Thank you so much for those analysis, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.